Hi, everyone. This is Jacqui Cooper with CryptoMom2, and I want to welcome everyone back to this new year. And I'm so excited to have my guest today. I've been talking with Peter for a while. I met him at the Bitcoin conference last May in 2022. I'm going to be going to the Bitcoin conference this next May in Miami in 2023. We have a lot of exciting things to talk about in terms of Bitcoin and just the variety of things that are supporting the community. I also at the end will be announcing something as well for you guys to have a sneak peek at. But for those that are new to Crypto Mom 2, I want to just share a little bit about my background, and then I'm going to be introducing Peter and everything that he's doing, which is very exciting to me. Um, my background is that I'm a lawyer, but I'm also an educator, and I've been in this space for a little bit over 4 years, which is not a lot compared to some others that have been in this space. But I went down the rabbit hole because I was curious. I started asking questions, and I started interviewing people around the world, and I realized that blockchain is a phenomenal tool. And there's a lot of things going within the blockchain community, and really, one of the areas that I am also passionate about, is Bitcoin, and that's why I wrote my first book called The Bitcoin Cinderella. But I do want to just say, first of all and foremost, these shows are educational. They're not financial advice and they're not legal advice. You do have to understand that there's a lot of volatility within the cryptocurrency space. Now, cryptocurrency and blockchain are two different things, but cryptocurrency, there's a lot of volatility. So you have to invest doing your due diligence and talking to your own professional, team. But with that being said, today we are going to be talking about Bitcoin. We are going to be talking about a whole new way that you can get involved if you are curious about it. I know when I first started, I needed mentors to guide me on how to open up a wallet and a whole slew of other things. And so I'm really excited to share with you more about what's going on so you can decide if you'd like to get involved and hop on this wagon. So, Peter, how are you doing today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so where are you located today? I know that we're talking from around the world.
Yeah, I am American. I live in Germany.
Yeah,
Going to be here for a while longer, and then headed back in a year or so back to the United States.
yeah, I love the fact that I'm able to talk to people from around the world. So we met at the conference, and I was really intrigued with what you were doing. And at that point, you said, "Well, we have to wait a little bit before we could actually have an online recording." And now's the time. Now's the new year. So why don't you go ahead? First of all, before we talk about you know the this project, why don't you share a little bit about your background? Because you and I talked offline. You have a very interesting story, and the individuals who are working with you have a phenomenal background, and so there's a lot of credibility. So why don't you go ahead and share a little bit more about how you got involved, and then we can actually talk about the project.
Yeah, it's I'm an interesting age. Born in 1970 because I remember the days where there was no internet, there were no cell phones or anything, right? And so I have all those memories, but I have had a wonderful career from the 90s till now, essentially doing startups, right? And kind of witnessing every wave of disruption along the way. It's just been a thrill. I worked in Silicon Valley in the 90s at Sun Microsystems at the dawn of the internet. I've done semiconductor startups. I've been Internet of Things. I've done clean tech. And over the last 5 or 6 years, I've been more involved in crypto. And so this is the latest thing that I've done as a startup executive in sales and marketing. And it's just been a thrill. It's been a lot of fun.
So explain to everyone who's listening, and if you guys are on the audio side, feel free to hop over to my YouTube side so you can see the platform that we're going to be sharing. Why don't you go ahead and share the platform, and then why don't you show me some of the notes that we're going to be talking about? Because that's actually, to me, what's fun is the physicality of what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, I'd say your audio users definitely want to get over to YouTube for this one.
Yeah.
Noteworthy is bringing something really, really novel and unique that we believe is going to really expand the market for Bitcoin. So we are making what we're calling crypto notes. So here's a 5 millibit crypto note. It's worth about $85 today. You can see it has a number of features on it. The first thing I'll say about it is that this is designed by Manuela Frunder, who designed the Swiss francs currency currently in circulation, okay? Our company was founded by Peter Vesnes, who founded the Bitcoin Foundation, as well as Larry Felix. And Larry Felix was director of the US Treasury Bureau of Printing and Engraving. And so, and there's a whole, really exceptional team behind it of people that are really established in the banknote world, building nation state currencies. So what we have here is an extremely high quality note printed in the Swiss secure printing industry. But it has all the attributes you need. So the first thing is we have a QR code that represents the public wallet address. So anybody can scan this and immediately confirm that the funds are located in this public wallet address and that there's no previous wallet activity. It's a clean single transaction history for a wallet address. The second thing is we have a hologram here, okay? And under the hologram securely seals the private key, okay? And so the private key was securely printed with an industry that knows, and its livelihood is really built upon trust, right? It's an industry that makes lottery tickets, they do passports, and they print currencies. So we have an ISO grade process, ISO 14298. It is policed and certified by the secure printing industry group called Intergraph in Europe. And so this key is printed once, it's sealed, and that's it. There's no record of it. And so this can freely circulate and be exchanged for goods and services as currency, or it can be scratched off and redeemed into a digital wallet within seconds. So that's the view.
So for those that are listening, what Peter was showing, it actually looks like a physical piece of currency. So, it's actually something you can hold and put in a wallet. If you, when I say wallet, your physical purse, because these days you have an electronic wallet and then you have your cash wallet, your fiat wallet. But
it's not a metaphorical wallet; it's a real
yes,
wallet.
no, yeah, exactly. But I want to. You've mentioned a few terms that if someone's new to this world, they might not understand. So you mentioned, public and a public wallet and private keys. Why don't you go ahead and explain the difference? Because someone might not understand if they've never taken a step to convert their US dollars or the euro into a cryptocurrency or into Bitcoin, they might not understand what all this means. So why don't you kind of get back to the basics there?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. And these are really kind of the critical early things to learn as you jump into the world of crypto. And a public wallet address is an address that anybody can see. So if there's a value or an amount that corresponds with a public wallet address, it's on the blockchain, right? We can all look at it. And it's a way to confirm that, that money is funded to, in our case, the denomination that we have on the note itself, okay? So the public wallet address is the public ledger. It is how we all know what is actually there. And so that is the beauty of the blockchain, right? The private key, I like to think about it, it's simply a way to redeem your funds. So if you want to move your money out of that public wallet address, you need to access the private key. And so this is the real sensitive thing, is that you always hear, like, if it's not your keys, it's not your cheese, right? It's you need to possess the keys and keep it safe, in this case, safely sealed under the hologram. But when you do want to move that money, either to convert it back into fiat or move it to a different digital wallet address, then you would need to scratch it off. And then you can simply, in our case, scan the QR code, move it into a digital wallet. But I should highlight one thing. One thing is really unique and exciting about crypto notes is that you don't have to redeem it. So this is 5 millibits, $85 worth of crypto that I can give to you, right? And it is just as valid. And there's no mining, there's no blockchain transaction. It's anonymous, and you can have this. I can get $85 in goods and services, and then you can use it as a savings device. So there's no transaction fees. So this is one of the nice things. And we just see a number of exciting applications that come out of that change in form factor for Bitcoin.
So why don't you go, I'm going to have a number of other questions that have popped into my mind, but why don't you share screen to show your website, the platform. And I know that for anyone who's listening, I will embed the contact information in the blog below. Again, I'll mention cryptocurrency is very volatile, so you have to make your own personal decisions. However, what intrigued me about this form of Bitcoin, it being in a note, is what I want to call the ease of transference. Because if I wanted to give Bitcoin to my daughter as a gift, I would have to, even though my daughter's 26, so she can learn all this on her own, but I would have to teach her how to open up a wallet. I would have to teach her how to access all this information in order for her to access my gift to her of Bitcoin. This it seems to me, makes it a little bit easier for someone who wants to give a gift to someone, because it's already in a physical form that you can hand to them, and then they can put this into a safe deposit box or another secure place for their decision later whenever they decide that they want to redeem it. So do you want to talk more about the purpose why why Noteworthy decided to go this route?
Yeah, definitely. And you can see my screen in our homepage here, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
for sure.
Terrific. So yeah, you hit it on the head, and we're already seeing this. We launched in early December. We had a great Christmas season, and the feedback that we're getting for customers is precisely what you said. It's like you can give a crypto note, and somebody is able to receive it without setting up an exchange account, without having to do the ID checks, so they get this first familiarity with crypto without having to jump through all the hoops, right? And so we see, Bitcoin people love talking about Bitcoin, right? It's a passion for them. And this is a way for them to be able to evangelize it to their family and friends that don't quite get it yet, right? But you're absolutely right. Like, you just give it and then they have it, right? It's sitting in their hands. They physically possess it. It becomes their crypto, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I was going to say that one of the challenges that I had when I first started in this space is the idea of digital currency, is the idea of wrapping. I'm still blown away about, the idea of blockchain and everything that can be created on it. But the idea that, we have digital currency, we've gotten more familiar with it, when the credit cards came out, when our debit cards came out, when we had, PayPal or Venmo, we're getting more comfortable with it. But again, I like the idea that of still having something in hand. And so that's why when you created this with Bitcoin, it just makes it's not about making sense, but it's something to be able to introduce and educate others with.
Definitely. And if we look at the penetration, it's between 4 and 5% of the world population.
Yeah.
And what you quickly get into is a deep anxiety around something that is fundamentally intangible. And like, I can log in and see my balance, but when I log in tomorrow, am I still going to see it, right? this intangibility brings a lot of anxiety for a very large sector of the population. And this cuts through that in a really meaningful way. So, you know, lost passwords are a thing, right?
Yes, they are.
Hacks
Yes, they
are
are.
a thing. And we're not suggesting that this is the be all and end all, but as a complement to the current custody strategies, we just think it's a fantastic addition to how people can keep and hold crypto to diversify their custody strategy. And so far, we're getting great feedback on that.
So let's dive a little bit deeper, because you did talk about hacks, you did talk about custody. When we move our fiat over to a platform, Coinbase or any of the other major platforms, you know, whether it's in the United States or overseas, then we will purchase a crypto or Bitcoin, and then we move that to hopefully a cold wallet, which if you don't know what a cold wallet is, it's an external wallet. But if I'm buying this node, where is my Bitcoin held? Where, because it's in a wallet somewhere. So how does that work? And then if I wanted to move that on your website, how do you show me, if I'm new to this, what steps to take? Because again, if I give a gift, I then want to sometimes access, and so that's all part of the transaction process. So how do I learn about this?
Yeah, well, the nice thing is like, okay, so your first question is, you have a public wallet address, right? Like we showed you here, the QR code.
Right.
And that is just like any other wallet, like it all lives on the blockchain, right? So that's where your funds are. The difference here is the private key is in physical form, that's in your hand under the hologram. Okay. And so we have under our FAQs on our websites a whole list of questions that people can go through. And how do I verify funds? How do I redeem or spend? This would be the clear answer here. And so then we have a set of instructions that I won't go into here, but you can find it all there to sweep the funds out of the note into an Exodus or some other kind of digital wallet. And then you can move it into your exchange to turn that into fiat if you so wish. But we should highlight that marks the end of the life of the crypto note, right? Once you scratch up the hologram, and this is such a great instrument, you know, and you can use it in a fungible way. So this can be exchanged in the real world. And that's what makes it so exciting, right? It's because it becomes this totally anonymous, fungible asset that we believe is going to be in really increasingly higher demand as the years roll on.
So I'm curious, how did you, for every purchase then, that means you have to create a private wallet because of the private keys? Oh, interesting.
Well, we do. We do it.
You do.
Yeah, we do. And we create we have a digital printing process that's, you know, again, governed by the ISO 14298 process, so that we can ensure that that link between the public wallet address and the private key is tested and secure and proven, and then it's cloaked so that nobody can possibly get access to the private key. So that all happens in the manufacturing process. Absolutely.
And that's amazing. And where is Noteworthy based? Is it also based in Europe, or where is it based?
We're a Swiss company. We have deep Swiss roots. Our manufacturing is in Switzerland. The design happens in Switzerland. We're very deeply tied to the banknote industry. So yes, that's part of what it is. Yeah.
On your website, what other drop down do you want to share and feature? Because again, you have a lot of incredible information at the website. What would you like our listeners to know about?
So I'd like to do two things. So let's talk about the team, and then I'd like to talk about the use cases and why people would buy these. So
that'd be great.
So the first thing, if we go here to the About page, this really is what sets Noteworthy apart from anybody else that's going to attempt to do something like what we do. We fundamentally have unique access to the banknote printing industry that nobody else does. Peter Vesnes, of course, is the CEO and co-founder. He founded the Bitcoin Foundation. Larry Felix was the director of the U.S. Treasury's Department of Engraving and Printing. So he is the father of the U.S. $100 bill and the U.S. $5 bill, okay? So, and then if we go on, Manuela here was the designer of the 9th series Swiss franc. Okay, and so she's deeply embedded in the banknote design world here in Europe. Edmund Moy was the 38th director of the U.S. Mint. And then we have Thomas Hipschen. I'm, of course, skipping over other people with deep resumes, but I'd like to highlight Thomas Hipschen. He is a renowned engraver. So he engraved the portraits of Benjamin Franklin on the $100 bill, Andrew Jackson on the 20, Alexander Hamilton on the 10. So these are the kinds of people with deep resumes and deep industry experience that we did this, and we bring these people in because we want to build really kind of a culture of trust. This is something people can trust, and people wouldn't put their reputations on the line like this if it wasn't legit and real. And we also did it because we want it to be really meaningful in growing the Bitcoin market cap, right?
Exactly.
This is a platform that is going to bring millions of people to Bitcoin in a way that they can understand and trust. And that's what this is all about.
And I do want to mention, again, I'll do the disclaimers, there's a lot of volatility and things like that, but Bitcoin has been around for years. It's the grandfather of all the coins. And so from that perspective, as I've been navigating, this space, I'm having my respect for the creation of Bitcoin has been growing more and more in terms of both, and I'm, perfectly transparent. I am a Bitcoin miner. I definitely understand the process, but I also understand, the longevity and, the value can go up and down, but Bitcoin, I personally believe, again, personal opinion, it's going to be around, it's not going away. And so, the fact that we now have a node that can incorporate Bitcoin and be more transferable, to me, I think is brilliant. Again, I'll do all those disclaimers. You have to make your own decisions. But I really think that what the team has created, there's going to be so many multiple uses. And you said you want to, hop over to use cases. So let's go.
Yeah. If I may make one comment on what you just said, is I agree with you. It's like, it's always kind of tragic when these FTX events happen, when Terra Luna happens, when Celsius happens, but we have to keep in mind, these are not trustless organizations, right?
And those are platforms. Those are not the currencies. Now, currencies, altcoins are different than Bitcoin. And when you have an altcoin, anything that's not Bitcoin, you have individuals, and I do no disrespect to any of the altcoins that exist out there, but you don't always know the liquidity behind the creation of the altcoin. So you always have to be asking really deep questions before you put your money into an altcoin, because that, like any other traditional business, an altcoin is like that, and it can be there one day, it can be gone the next day. So you have to be willing to lose what you invest in an altcoin. I'm not saying that you can't lose with Bitcoin. There's the volatility of it, but Bitcoin is always going to be around, so again, there's just a different thing.
And I think in the end, with all this bad news in crypto writ large, it's in the end going to be yet another great buying opportunity that people could have jumped on, right? Because Bitcoin will separate itself, when all the dust settles. So I think it's a great opportunity at this moment. No financial advice, but that's how we see it. It's weathered this storm so many times before, right?
Yeah, I agree.
We'll do it again. So on the use cases, which I think is really the exciting part, we see multiple trillion-dollar markets for a crypto note as we discuss. And the first one that is very obvious that we don't believe that crypto in its digital form really can address, and that is the cash giving market. Gift cards alone are $800 billion a year worldwide. If you add in cash giving, with our traditional Western holidays, but more importantly, some of the Chinese New Year is all cash giving in the red envelopes. It's big in India. It's big in Turkey. You can really look at this worldwide, no matter what the occasion. And it adds up to $1.5 trillion, okay? And if we think about the nature of a gift card, right, it's geared 100% towards consumption in a single retailer, usually, okay? And that really, it's a way to kind of give a gift, but it honestly doesn't really do anything to improve the life of the person, usually a young person that you're giving the gift to, right? It's usually a way to go buy some lattes or frappuccinos at Starbucks, or go to Applebee's, or get a new pair of Nike shoes. I mean, these aren't terrible things, but it is not really a strong message that you care about their future. Okay, now contrast that with the ability to give a deflationary micro asset. Okay, something that has scarcity, something that is in a form factor people can understand. It's physical. It's ideal for a gift. And what we run through are some scenarios where it's like, if you start with your 8-year-old, okay, and you give them a 5 millibit crypto note every Christmas and birthday, right, 2 a year for 10 years, right, that's going to turn into what, $2,000 in gifts, and that could grow to $10, $15, $20,000. And this delayed gratification, dollar cost averaging, some of the bedrock principles of what good investing is, guess what we're doing? We're sending our kids a message not to go out and spend right away with their gift card. We're saying, hey, if you hold on to these, you could really open up some life opportunities. So we kind of love the double take here, where a gift giver can feel a lot better about what they're investing in with their close relatives, families, friends. And it creates this incredible opportunity to teach the younger generation about, their first lessons about how to handle money, right? And it's a thing for saving and investing more than it is a thing for spending. So we think there's some really great advantages there.
And I agree with you. This gives an opportunity to talk about the diversity of the financial market and the history of finance, both from a traditional perspective as well as the alternative fintech perspective. So, and I know that there are many, as an educator, there are many universities that are now creating blockchain classes and other things. So I think that we are going in the educational route more towards sharing and communicating with our younger population what exists out there. So I think that when someone was to get a note, they would say, what's this? And, again, that curiosity, just like when they go on gaming and things like that, it's a different way to explore and start asking questions and educating yourself. So there's so much more that we can talk about. And I know we're going to have more than one episode, because I know that we can talk about, the current events and other things. And I definitely want to have everyone hop over to Noteworthy, the website, to explore it and ask questions, make your decisions. This is very exciting to me from a perspective of possibility. So, Peter, any last minute thoughts that you want to share with everyone who's listening? Because again, we're going to have more than one conversation, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'll just say that we did launch this in time for Christmas, and we shipped notes into 10 different countries. And it was just an incredible success. We're seeing so many of these people that bought gifts for their families. The feedback's been amazing. And those people are already coming back to buy more notes. So we're off to a great start. We think they're great gifts for any occasion. And there's applications that we can talk about in the future that that address other significant markets like private vault assets, maybe a complement to precious metals, right? With a deflationary asset that sits in a safe, for safekeeping. There's all kinds of different things that are going to come up and things we haven't anticipated.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely, and that resonates with me because I invest in silver and things like that. So the idea of having alternative things that can be there for my daughter and for others that I care about is definitely something that you and I are going to talk about offline, and we'll have more conversations online. So again, everyone, I'll embed the contact information for Peter and Noteworthy within the blog. Again, not financial advice, not legal advice. We have to do these disclaimers. You do need to do your own research, but it's definitely, if you're looking at Bitcoin, this is definitely something that you might want to research and investigate and consider. So Peter, thank you so much for hopping on. I look forward to seeing you at the conference in May and doing some other things. And for everyone who's on as well, remember, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. We're all part of one world and we're so interconnected. Thank you so much, Peter.
Thank you.